Okay, 2027, 2025 Bmw X07 headliner removal. This is an M60i, so this one's pretty loaded. So, let's see how I can start this. I'm gonna try not to knock this over. But I get my 2 wedges. This is for the front one. And it's in here really tight, and this is the really nice interior, so I'm gonna try not to damage it. But basically you just kind of wedge it up little by little. Watch it damage this on camera. There we go. And then it just kind of slides out. Just like that. There's one on each pillar, and there's a T20 or 25, I think is what that is, under there. So that's the first part, and then we gotta go up under here. There's one there, and then this. And these slide out, they just hold to be, there's not bolts under here, there's just retainers. Let's see if I can put it down. Hopefully you guys can see this while I'm doing it. This one was the worst. This I have a little hook tool for. I do. Okay, so that last part was not helpful at all. So I take my hook, I shove it in as far as I can, and then I just twist, and it just comes off. It looks super easy, but I promise you it's literally the worst. Okay, and then it comes out, and it's just this little thing. Okay, and then this one, I'm gonna put it on my lap. I think that's what we did last time. Okay, that one I take. Hello. Where'd they go? There she is. These two. And kind of just simultaneously pull down on them, like kind of a little wee action. And this also just slides out. I live for these tools. Little metal trim tools. They have to be really thin. That's the best way, and they are absolute lifesavers. So this one comes out just like that. And it's the same on both sides. I already took this one out. Okay, so that's step 1. 2, I guess. Okay, next part is all these handles have little, these gotta come out. Again, there's no bolts behind them, they're just hiding clips that you'll have to undo when you take them out. This is gonna be really hard to do with one hand. But this is basically slanted, and I take my flat wedge and push it under the bottom. And then I take a hook, or I could take the other wedge really, but I think it's easier with a little hook. Put it in the top, and you kind of just pry towards you. This is gonna come flying. And then, nice handle. See how it's like angled? It's gotta come out like this, not straight. Okay, and then there's 2 of those in every single handle. They come out every single way. And then I just keep track of all of those. I don't think they are side specific. No. But that is all that. This piece actually has nothing holding on, which is usually not the case. Usually there's a bolt or something, but this just comes undone. A bunch of clips in it. It does unclip from this. You kind of have to like, I'll show you in a second. Hold on. Okay. I start with getting these off. I definitely recommend when you're putting it back together to put the gasket on first, because they're a pain in the ass to get out. So they're really tight. I kind of just start by loosening the edge. You just have to be careful. The top part pulls on the headliner kind of hard. So you just gently, once you get up there. Okay, so now we're loose. And then just kind of push this just enough out of the way. This is just so you can see the clips. I think it just makes it easier. You don't have to do it, but I think it's easier to see the clips. That way you're not just blindly prying. Look at my hands. Like that. Okay. And then do the same thing on the back. Which I'll do in a second. But you can see there's a clip right there. You can see the white. There's a clip up here. Can't really see. There's one up there, I promise. And then, I hope you can see. Same deal with this back one. Don't do that. So you start here, kind of in by the metal, just to loosen it. When she's loose. There you go. Easy little trim. Don't go too crazy because that's really expensive at lining. Okay, and then flip. There is clips. There's one right here, if you can see. I hate that noise. One kind of right there. And then there's one. I think that's it actually. So then it's gonna kind of have to go this way, come towards me, and then go down. It has a really big piece up here, so I'm gonna try and do that really quick. Stay. Okay. Take this big long guy. I beat it with a hammer so it's straight. I took care of the start. And then gently make sure you're not. There you go. One. There's two on the other side. Maybe there's just one on this side? There's one on this side. I'm bleeding everywhere. That's great. Maybe there's a... So, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, clip there. Clip down there. So you can see in there. It has to go that way. Because there's back in here, there's a little... Let's see if we can see it from this side. It's kind of... It loops around this bottom part funny. Yeah, it's got to come this way. And then out and around. Yeah, so see this little thing right here? It hooks into this. So you have to push it this way and then out and around. And then don't fall. Then she slides down gently. Just like that. Voila. Okay, now to the back. Okay, last section is this piece. It's really dark back here, so I have my light on. Sorry if I'm blinding you guys. There's this airbag cover thing here and here. One of these is broken, I'm pretty sure, but again, my two little wedges, favorite little tools. These ones should come out a little easier than the front A-pillars. Just look like that. When you're putting it back on, you gotta push down on these little parts first and then click in, or else it doesn't go in right. Don't lose those. One there, one here. I don't know if you can see. Hopefully not in the way. Same deal. This one is attached. Yay. So they're supposed to have this little catch string on them. This little thing right here, but that one broke off. So, oh well. It still goes back on. Doesn't affect how it goes. Sorry for blinding people. Okay. And then, so behind this one, there is a bolt. This one actually doesn't have anything behind it, which is stupid, because this one does. Ooh, I'm bleeding. That's really dumb. Yeah, so there's T25, T30, 25? I don't know, I haven't done those yet. Unbolt them. Go through, obviously, get all the things out for the handles. I will show you what to do next. Give me a minute. Okay, so this is going to be really hard to do with one hand. But, basically, this clip is out like this into the metal. You have to squish it together to pull it out. So, what I do is I take a straight wedge, little pick tool, and I apologize in advance. So I stick this little thing up under here, pry it up as high as I can, hold down, pulling down. There we go. down on the handle so it stays. I'm trying to do this while filming, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not cord enough. Alright, try it again. This goes up, pull down on the handle, pulling down, see how it stayed. Then you go up into the top one, fucker. Top one, also pull down. I didn't do it enough. Shoot. This is really hard. I'm really trying it. Pulling. Yep, stayed. Top one. Didn't do it enough. Really trying to do this. Okay, you get the concept, right? Up as far as you can, like this. So it's really high up there. And then you pull down just like that. Okay, like that. And then the top one. Yeah, just like that. Ta-da! Oh, anything for the videos. Alright, see how it comes out? So when you're pulling, you're basically just pulling the two pieces together. So then you gotta do it again. Which I'm just gonna put my phone, I don't know, flipping. Stay. Right there. I'll try my best. You definitely aren't gonna be able to see the details, but up, pulling, up, pulling. Come on, baby. There she goes. Ta-da! So it looks like red, and it just, they go into these holes. So that's what you're squeezing apart, and then you get to do that 4 times. Hooray! So I'm gonna pause the video so you guys don't have to watch me struggle with it. Hold on. Okay, so I should have explained this earlier when you're taking the parts off, but to take these off, this is the vent shade thing, or the mirror thing, whatever. It's kind of the same deal as the handles. You just kind of pry up on these, pry down, and pull down at the same time. Just be careful. It comes flying, and you don't want to rip that wire out. So let's see. I'm not going to be able to see very well. I'm going to try. So I'm pulling down, wedging, attempting to wedge. There she goes. You kind of just do one side at a time. There's probably an easier way to do this, but this is what works for me. And it doesn't seem very... Ooh. Okay, see, it jumps. And this side is flipping. Those pieces just kind of squeeze together. It comes out way easier. You can probably just pull down on it. Let's just see if I can give it a little love tug. Ooh, be nice to me. I'm just a girl. Okay, so I'm gonna squeeze that out. Yeah. Okay, so I did the same thing as I did on the handles. This is a really stupid way of holding it. Is kind of pulling down one side at a time, and then so now it's loose. And then you gotta just kind of, it's gotta slide down. Wiggle gently. Gently, be nice. This car's way more expensive. Okay, there we go. I don't have my light on, you can't see anything. There we go. Okay, and then it's the BMW plug where you just take a little pick in this little hole right here and just push it forward, and then it'll unplug. Okay, next part is this overhead console, which is super stressful because it's like $900 if you break it. So no pressure. So what you're gonna do is you gotta remove this little vent thing that's right here. I take a wedge or a little 90 carefully. Actually, probably use this. Let's just see. There's a little tab here on the end. Yeah, use this. This is a lot less damaging. And then you kind of just slowly, it is extremely thin. I kind of wedge the top in, yep, and then it comes out just like that. And then behind it, I already took a screw out. I put it back in so I can show you guys how to take it out. But that one I took out 2 T15 screws, which I use a screwdriver for. This is a T15. And then, pause it. Okay, next thing you do on this half, right here, it's upside down for me. Okay, moving camera. You can see little metal tab things in here. Kind of same concept. So I gently, this piece is extremely fragile. I wedge something behind it, like so carefully, stressfully. Oh my god, oh my god, I'm so stressed out. Okay, like that. And then I just dropped this freaking hook. I left to edit that up. Okay, while prying down on that, I push on this little metal thing with the hook, and then it'll release it and it'll drop. So let me flip my camera. Flip, flip, flip. This, push, and da-da. And then those are the only two tabs that should slide this way. Yeah. She's free. And then there's a bunch of plugs. Bunch of plugs. Bunch of plugs. Yes, that is that. Move on to the next part. Okay, really quick, found out why that one didn't have a screw. It is. If this is up all the way, see, it blocks the hole, so you have to move it down. Pretty much once the screw is out, it is just free. You have to kind of move the liner out of the way, but it just whoop, falls right down. Woohoo! Literally. Did that on both sides. Then this rear trim is a pain. What else is new? It's a Bmw. Bye! Yeah, so these are the screws that come out of it. It's a T25. And then back here it's a T30. The bolt actually just stays. It's got its own little case in there, so you don't have to worry about it. I tried to catch it, but it doesn't come out, so it just stays in there. There is a clip here, down there, there, and up at the top. So the rear ones are really tight, so I kind of moved this gasket out of the way, but you don't move it too much because it's got that sticky shit on it, and that will definitely not come off this nice interior. So let me try this side, go through the whole thing, take the bolt out, which I did, so it's just loose in there. So then this should, yeah, this part just kind of flops, kind of pull here gently, nicely. There you go, that's free. Okay, and then the back. Okay, and I did put tape down because it does scratch here, so hold on. Stick. So I just put this up. Just so you can see behind it a little better. Gentle. There she goes. One. Once you have one, you can see the other one. There she goes. See, it rips up the tape, but doesn't scratch. So now this is free. Okay. This is consuming my soul, but this light has to come out because there are two. Where'd y'all go, you little fuckers? Right there. Well, 8mm that go in that hold the headliner up. I have no good way of getting it out. It took me probably an hour and a half to get it out. So basically it's these little teeny tiny tabs. You have to somehow get a tool up in there and push down on them. They're in these little holes. It's the worst. So I broke this side, and I'll probably, I'm gonna fish the little tabs out of here, but I don't know if you can just put them back on, because it doesn't really, it looks like they would just slide back on, or you have to get a whole new control module, which I don't want to know how much that costs. Yeah, okay, and then I'll make a section about undoing all of these clips. It's literally the worst, and there's probably a better way to do it, but I don't know, so hold on. Okay, next part in this 20-part saga, this light. Same deal, clips, kind of come from the top. I just took a wedge worked in from the top, you can feel it snapping as you're going, and then you have to pull the front down and then pull it out this way because of these little hooks here. Hard to see. The little hooks, it's gotta come this way. Oh god, this thing sucks. Final part is freeing every single one of these stupid clips, and it's the worst part. I don't have a good way to do it. I basically would wedge these up in the gap and then take this and wiggle it back and forth. They're the worst. They're plastic, so they probably break. Don't lose these little gaskets on them. There's 100 of them. They bend the metal. It's the worst. So you have to take that light out and that light out, and then finally the whole fucking thing drops. I hope I covered anything. This took me probably 4 hours to do. So I hope this helps.